lately we've been hearing a lot of questions about some of the new Apple laptops that came out with the M1 chip. And specifically because we're a headphone company, people are asking, can we drive our headphones with these new laptops? Can they do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So we have an M1 and we have an M1 Pro here. And we're going to see if it actually powers a demanding headphone. We got the Diana TC here, and we have a high impedance headphone as well. So we could test and compare the difference between the two, see whether or not it actually has an advantage.
Yeah, now the Diana is a nominal 69 ohm impedance. Very low efficiency, so it likes juice, a lot of power.
Yeah,
right?
It's very demanding.
Yeah.
And some people were saying that they thought it might end up performing better on the new laptop because it kind of was, the way they worded it, it was a little mysterious. If you dig into it on the website, it kind of basically just says it only has advanced support for high impedance headphones. It doesn't mean more power. They mean more voltage when it detects the impedance is over 150 ohms.
Yeah, which means if your headphone is 150 ohms or more, supposedly the M1 Pro kicks into high gear on voltage to drive those higher impedance headphones to a similar level, I think, that you would get, if you were using a lower impedance headphone. It's very confusing for most people. Bottom line is that if you have a headphone 150 ohms, this newer M1 Pro is supposed to be better at driving it. But we're going to find out that right now, how it compares to like a nominal 69 ohm headphone, which shouldn't make a difference on either one. And we also have a 300 ohm headphone, which is in the range where this bad boy is supposed to kick into high gear. So we're going to find out how that works.
Well, let's start with the M1 then. Okay, got a good idea. I'll play the same track on the...
What track are we playing?
Currently playing Lover Madly by The Doors.
The Doors.
Yeah. Okay.
About the same.
Full volume on both. It's like same thing.
Yeah, which we kind of figured nothing really changed. It's a similar amplification or simpler voltage out with a 69 ohm headphone. Mm-hmm. So now we'll try it with the 300 ohm headphone and see if the M1 Pro kicks into high gear like they said it does. Say it does.
Okay, on to the 300 ohm headphone, starting with the M1 again.
Now, supposedly the M1 laptop doesn't do this. It doesn't sense the impedance. So
at least they didn't say it did.
Yeah. So I would assume it, whatever the level is on the 300 ohm, it is what it is. I don't know. Can't compare it to this headphone, but we can compare it between laptops on the same headphone and see if it changes.
See if it does the thing it says it's supposed to.
Yeah, see if the M1 Pro does the thing it's supposed to do.
Okay, switch over to the Pro. Yep, definitely goes way louder.
Cool.
Well, way louder than anybody would ever listen to it at. So definitely a difference.
Yeah, so if you have a high impedance, high efficiency headphone, then the Pro's the way to go.
It seems to do the business apparently. It's a lot louder.
And it's not that you can't do better by plugging it into a real amplifier, right? You could still get an outboard amp for this thing and kick it up another couple notches. But the point is you don't need to with a high efficiency headphone, which is pretty much what Apple's kind of designed it to do, I guess, which is awesome.
It does what it says.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's cool. How's it sound?
Same as an iPhone.
No, I mean quality. The quality of sound.
Yeah, like your iPhone jack dongle.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So it's not stellar, but it's pretty good.
It'll work.
Yeah. But on our 69 ohmer, not enough volume.
Yeah, it depends on the track. Older, quieter recordings, your full volume. And you're like, I would like a little more.
Yeah, which is that's almost always the case. We always tell people you need an amplifier with higher end headphones to really. You spent all this money on the drivers on the headphone. You need an outboard amplifier for it.
I mean, it sounds pretty much the same as my old MacBook Pro or an iPhone dongle. So if you have one of those,
M1?
both of them.
Oh, both on it.
On a Diana.
Right.
So if you have that, that's pretty much what it sounds like.
So you know what to expect.
Yeah.
So for $29 you can get a dongle and try it. You'll know if it's going to work.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll know what to expect.
It works. Audio comes out. It doesn't sound horrible, but it's not exceptional. Yeah. It's okay. It's a little quiet in some tracks too. So, yeah, in high impedance headphones, it works, says what it does. So I guess for that, it's pretty good. If you're using it for not super critical applications, then high impedance headphones work really well on the new machine. But anything that isn't sensitive, that isn't high impedance, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference.
That's their first and only laptop that has that feature, right? There's no other, nothing, you can't get it on anything else.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We'll
like
see
the
what that
iPad
means.
Pro, does that have a 3.5 millimeter?
It doesn't even have a jack.
Oh, so you're relegated to a dongle or an outboard amp.
Yeah,
like everything else.
but you can use a Type C dongle on that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Does that help anyone? Anyway?
No, but allegedly the DAC measures better than the regular Lightning version.
Oh, really? Measures?
Yeah,
Here we go. I don't know what it sounds like, but
I haven't tried it.
yeah, all right.
I don't have one,
Yeah.
but maybe we could get a Type C dongle.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So the Apple M1 Pro will work well on a higher impedance, above 150 ohm headphone,
It does, yeah.
better than any other laptop prior to it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no real advantage to anything else.
Yeah.
If it isn't high impedance and it isn't particularly sensitive, it doesn't really seem to put out more power. It just kind of gives you a little bit more voltage to drive high sensitivity but high impedance headphones.
Well, kudos to Apple for doing that because, now natively, right, they're going after better sound
Yeah.
out of their existing product line, which is great. And you got to believe that's just going to trickle down. They're going to see how that works out for people. And yeah, it should trickle down into.
Well, I assume they figure that in their like high-end 16-inch laptops, those are mainly the people that are going to be using like higher-end, high-impedance headphones. So.
Right. Who've probably been asking for
Yeah,
something like
right.
that, where they don't have to carry an amp around.
Yep.
You got a multi-$1,000 laptop. Can't I play my damn headphones on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should do that. How hard
No.
could it be?
I think the interesting thing is where this goes in the future. We'll have to see, does this mean they're going to push more towards improving the quality of the headphone output on their products? Or are they just doing it for a demand? Because people were saying, hey, I got a high-end machine and I got high sensitivity, high impedance headphones and I can't drive them? Or are they actually trying to slowly trickle their way into having a good headphone output?
All comes down to current draw, baby. How much power they want to take for this.
Yeah, maybe that's the next step next year. Ooh, high current amp.
Because we've seen, like Max, I think we've seen some USB dongles that can do almost a watt per channel into headphones.
Yeah.
But that's like maxing out the USB the capability of drawing power out of a USB jack.
There's not a
has
ton of
limits.
those for some reason.
You're clipping the limits of the USB jack. I think some of them at some point will even like cut out because the USB jack shuts down in a computer because it sees an overcurrent from the amplifier. They're not used to seeing that kind of a 1 amp current draw coming out of a USB jack type thing,
I expected to see more products catering towards the high-end market for iPhone and things like that since Apple more or less ditched the headphone jack. I figured someone would really start pushing to produce a higher quality product, but this really didn't really hit the way I thought it might have. So
Well, I think
I
it's
don't
usually
know,
the
maybe-
limitation of the format, the jack format.
yeah, I'm sure there's reasons. But
Can you get more current out of a Type C jack? Is it more than a Type B?
Well, it's not like a jack limitation, it's an Apple limitation. Because on the iPhone, they limit how much power you could get out of the Lightning connector, and it's not a lot. So if you want to have like a little dongle thing that's powered by the phone, you can't get a ton of power out
No,
of
that I get, but what about on a laptop where you got a big battery?
it. On a laptop Type C, you could put a lot of power out through it.
Oh, so more than
Depends
a
on the
Type
machine,
B.
but it's like 100 watts or so in that
really?
range. It's a lot.
out.
What
the
depends
power.
depends on the hardware.
Yeah.
Most won't put out that kind of power, but I'm not sure specifically what the Apple machines are rated to put out. The newer standards are pretty high power
for
output.
that little plug?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a standard for 100 watts, but it's only for charging, I believe.
Well, that's in, not out. Talking about out.
Yeah, the connect will handle, but it's some sort of voltage. I don't know what they'll put out maximum.
Yeah, so then we don't really know.
Yeah,
Because I think the USB format, like the old school 2.0 Type B one, had a standard current limitation, as part of its spec. It could only put out so much current before
Yeah, of course.
it kick out. But I don't remember what that was.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah,
250
it's
milliamps,
changed.
500 milliamps. It wasn't a lot.
In the
but
early
it was
days, it was 500.
It was 5 volts.
500 milliamps, 5 volts.
volts,
Then
yeah.
it was 1,000, and then they had a standard for iPads, basically
Oh, I didn't know
2.1
that.
amps.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Not charging. I'm talking about out.
Out. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about a Type A and a laptop, most put out 2.1 amps at 5 volts.
Yeah.
And
That's
there's
a
some
lot.
products that are quick charge capable that'll put out higher voltages and higher currents.
Yeah, because the new laptops out of the Type C, you can charge your iPhone at like 15 watts now.
Really?
Yeah, with the cable.
Well, see, that's enough to drive a serious amplifier, a portable amplifier. You get that much power out of it, Type C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody's really doing it.
No one's exploiting that yet for some reason.
Not right now.
Yeah. They
But
will be.
the
Companies
bigger
like
need-
IFI and stuff, I could see dealing with that. Doing that.
I would say the bigger need is really in mobile, though, and iPhone. Not really so much the
Yeah,
laptop.
you're right.
If you already have a laptop, it's big.
Yeah, right.
It's nice to have an integrated solution,
Yeah.
but having an external thing to plug into your laptop,
It's not much more to carry.
it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, true.
Compared to like a
probably what
phone or
they're
whatever.
thinking,
Yeah, right.
It'd be cool to have a nice little dongle you plug in your phone that's powered by the phone that gives you a much more powerful output, and it was small and affordable, and it actually had adoption.
But then it kills your phone. So
Well,
Because things like that kind of exist, but they never gain traction.
I don't mean permanently kill it, but obviously drawing a lot of juice out of your
Yeah, it
phone
takes more
battery
power.
doesn't work out for especially if you're traveling. It's,
Well, yeah,
it's
that-
bad
then
enough
it's
as it
scary.
is
It's
when
like,
you're watching a movie or something. Yeah,
It is.
You could drop down to 2 hours playtime at that point.
It's
if you're running an
becoming
amplifier.
less of an issue, though. The newer phones are finally slowly getting towards larger and larger batteries, longer run times, and it's mattering less. If you have a new phone, any of the new like Maxes and stuff like that from Apple, the Pro Max, or some of the flagships from other brands, they're starting to get really long run times, more than a day in most people's uses. So maybe it's starting to get time. There's enough power. There's hopefully a little bit of demand, and someone will try it.
Yeah.
Maybe Apple doing things like this will help kick off people trying to make a run at
Well,
it.
it's obviously a baby step that's, and they're testing out to see how it works with people. So, I mean, like I said, kudos to them. I think it's a great idea. I think it's great that you're seeing more of this, because that's where it is. Personal audio is where it is right now. And so, these devices at these price points should accommodate that. They really should, So, anyway, thank you, everybody, for watching. And please subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to go to abyssstore.com if you need any goodies like mugs and pillows and blankets. Oh, we don't have
no
blankets.
blankets.
Okay, no blankets, not yet. All right.
You can go there for a blanket.
Or just go to
whatever.
abyssheadphones.com and get yourself a freaking baller headphone with an amplifier now with all this stuff.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Peace.